Fuck, well now I feel bad because now I'm getting less enamored with my iPad. It's just been so long since I've had like a real laptop. This isn't even the best laptop. And I got it fucking used. But every laptop I bought for the past like 10 years has been like a fucking gimmick laptop. So it's been a while since I've had like a real laptop. But I also need to I shouldn't travel. No, I'm done with this Expedition 33 game. Dude, I was sinking way too much time into that shit. But that's okay. I beat it and now I'm done. And I 100%ed it. Every achievement. Don't tell them about the E33 DLC. Huh, I'm beating that 100% when it comes out, okay? 100%. But okay, wait. We were moving through things. Okay, I learned about that for laptops. Now I know. Now you know, because I learned. And now you know it. Are these becoming available? Oh, they are. Oh boy. This was cute. Baldur's Gate 3 is peak. I like stories with characters, okay? I like stories with characters. I don't like blank slate bullshit. I don't like fucking Bethesda. That's it, okay? Like, Baldur's Gate 3 seems like it might be a fun game with friends maybe or something, but I need my JRPG style games, okay? That's why I like Expedition 33 so much, all right? Baldur's Gate 3 is character driven. The main character is a real person. I feel like I started this game like 12 years ago and it's BioWare style companions. Baldur's Gate 3 has multiple characters with good stories. Are you retarded? Okay, yeah, we view it differently, okay? When you can pick from like 15 different characters that all have different options and shit. Like, let me put it this way. And this is going to bother some of you, okay? Where are my AP English? Because I never really went to college, I guess. Where are my English students? You will, in 200 years, you will never be in an English class because you'll all be dead, okay? In 200 years, nobody's going to be in English class and be like, okay, teacher, you know, now what? On the bottom of this great literary American classic we're reading, it says, if you want him to open the door, turn to page 33, or if you want him to go down the hallway, turn to page 125. Choose your own adventure books will never be considered great literature. You cannot write that many good stories. You have to make too many compromises. It's just this bullshit, okay? There are 7 origin characters that you can either choose to have as your own character or have as companions. No! I want one consistent, one coherent story with one set of characters, with a consistent theme, with it working and being built. That's what I want, okay? Fuck you, all right? I like games like The Witcher, yeah, Red Dead Redemption, my traditional JRPGs, my Phantasy Stars, and my Final Fantasies, and my Secret of Manas, and my Chrono Triggers, and my Metal Gear Solids. Fuck you. Okay, wait. I'm just flashing through my takes on E33. I thought the soundtrack was good. There were too many good songs, though, and I actually don't mean that in a positive way. I think they should have like narrowed the scope a little bit. I feel like that composer blew like his 10-year load on that OST and will never make anything even remotely close to that ever again. That game had a lot of bangers. That game had a lot of fucking bangers. Which was good, but sometimes I feel like I would just get like in a random fight and I'd be like, holy shit, this is a crazy ass song. And then you'd like never hear it again. Like, the fuck? Oh, it seems kind of crazy. The voice acting was good. The gameplay I thought was really good. I think it struck a really good balance of turn-based gameplay that didn't get boring or drag on, even though you couldn't skip animations, which is usually really scary for me because I'm like, oh God, I've got to sit through. But I never felt like it dragged ever. I always felt somewhat engaged with the parry feature, which I thought was cute. I feel like the Picto system, I actually really liked that it was, I feel like it was a combination of like simplistic, but also there was like a lot of potential experimentation or fun with like combining different ones on the Luminous shit. I thought that was cute. I think the Pictos themselves could be reworked. Like it was a little bit too bleh. Like I think the stats or something maybe could have been a bit different. I don't know. There's definitely areas for improvement, but I thought it struck a good balance of simplicity versus complexity. Like I liked that it only took 4 battles to learn a Picto, because that's definitely, I feel like in traditional RPG world, well, back when I played games, I haven't played any AAA games in so long, it would be like 50 wins to max out a Picto and make it available for everybody. Maybe it could have been 10 battles or 5 instead of 4 or something, but the story I thought was ambitious. I liked, it was like a relatively original story with a pretty mature theme dealing with grief, which I think are all, and it's an original story, or at least, or maybe it was based on a book or something, but I appreciate that. I feel like, is it Act 3? Should have centered on Mael. I feel like it was a mistake that didn't happen. Did you get Verso in Act 2? I feel like Act 3 should have centered on Mael. I think that was a mistake for it not to. I think that one thing that I don't know what the I don't know what the writer was going for, because I feel like I read interviews with the director where he said that there's no real true ending, that both endings can be canon, or rather there's not like a good or a bad ending. But I feel like they needed to justify way more for it to be emotionally and philosophically fulfilling. They needed to do way more to build up the idea of Mael losing herself forever in the canvas. That's just, yeah, that I don't think they did enough to build that up. The Verso ending, I think if you're engaging with the material in a mature, honest, intellectual way, the Verso ending is like clearly and obviously the morally, artistically correct choice, I think, if you want to show like a positive, good message or something, yeah. I think they should have shown more how in pain and how miserable Alicia was in the real world and why the painted world was so appealing. Yeah, I think that they could have done it a little bit better there as well, for sure. Because I guess she couldn't talk. Oh, like one way they could have showcased that, because there was one cutscene where Verso plays the piano and Mael sings. There should have been more of her singing, or music should have been a bigger part of her life or something. Because it just didn't seem like as big of a deal. Like your voice is fucked, I guess, in the real world, but yeah, I don't know. I think there also needed to be a bigger consequence for destroying the canvas as well. Like she wouldn't be able to paint anymore. Like all of her power or whatever was wrapped up in this one canvas, and if they destroy it, she can never paint again. So that it feels more like there's more totality or finality or whatever in her destroying that canvas, because she could always just like paint another canvas in the future if she wants. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm a little bit unsatisfied, but it's fine because this is a very ambitious game, and I really appreciate the mature subject matter. Dealing with grief and loss is a very human thing, and the way that they showcase and everything, with the balance of like goofy, funny characters, and then you find out like, oh, like these goofy, funny characters asking everything were like a brother and sister, painting and drawing and going on adventures and shit. It reminded me a little bit of I barely remember this movie, but this movie was a mindfuck when I watched it. Am I making this? I don't want to spoil. Has anybody seen a movie called Bridge to is it Terabithia? Oof. I feel like I watched this a long time ago, but that was like a, oof. Why is there contention on the two endings? It's obvious Verso's ending was the correct choice. I think that people get hung up on trying to, like Foxip and Food Shops of this, where like, oh no, painted people have consciousness, and the consciousness and consciousness. The problem is once you've established that one world is fake, unless this is you would have to spend a lot of time diving into this thematically to really artistically justify. I don't know how to express this concept. If you want to deal with a certain thing in an art medium, you have to give it its due diligence for it to truly be considered honestly by somebody that's partaking in the medium. Like, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of an example. Like in Harry Potter, I always go to Harry Potter. I don't know why. Fuck, I can't think of an example right now. But like sometimes like a medium will lightly deal with a topic, but not like heavily, and then people are like, oh no, and they're really heavily factoring that in. The idea of like the other people being conscious or whatever, it's just not. I just don't think that's an important thing. I consider this way more akin to Inception, and I think for Inception, I thought about this more, and I kind of spoke with a friend about this more too because I was considering this idea more. The problem with Inception is twofold. One is there is a real world, and if you know there's a real world, then the fake world can't be as good as the real world, right? Like in Inception, why was it so important that Male? What does he call her? It's not Mel. It's not Mael. Mal? What does Leonardo DiCaprio call his wife? Is it Mal? Why does he want her to come out of the dream? Like, why can't they just live in the dream forever? You know? And the reason why is because there's a real world, right? And there are children there, and there are real decisions, and there are other people that can make choices and that can do things otherwise. And it's just, yeah, it's important to be a part of the real world. The real world has to mean something. I can't debate that. It's just axiomatic. The real world has to mean something more than a fake painted world. And to pretend that the game paid enough attention to the concept of building out characters that have their own conscious, nah, I don't know. I feel like I'm sympathetic to where people come from kind of in that, but I would actually argue that that was a mistake in the game and that the game focused too much in the third act on Verceau, and that was inappropriate. The third act should have centered on Mael. It shouldn't have been Verceau having his own adventures with like Lune and Ciel or whatever. It was incongruent, I think, with the ending choice and like what the direction of the game, I think, yeah. But in Inception, the problem is that in the dream, the people are your own imagination of the people. E33 seemed to me to present the people of Lumiere as independent consciousnesses. I mean, you can say that, but ultimately they're fake and drawn anyway, right? Like, you can draw whatever, you can change whatever, you can, if you don't like the way it is, you can redo it. Yeah. The creator is saying that there isn't a bad ending. Doesn't make any sense with the Mael ending. Yeah, I also don't. I would have to go and read. Now I'm curious if the director actually said that, because artistically, they really do communicate that that the Mael ending is bad. Like that is communicated through the medium. Absolutely. And there is a way to communicate this where it doesn't seem bad, but like this is such a fucked. What is this aspect ratio? Could you play the game like this? I knew it! I bet this is on PS5 or whatever. They do this to get 60 FPS or whatever and high resolution bullshit, is they put it in a crunched 4:3 aspect ratio, and that's why that over the shoulder, the field of view sucks. Actually, maybe not. There's no way the PS5 is a 4:3 like it's playing on TV. Everything I just said didn't make sense. Never mind. I'm retarded. Forget that. Like, there's no way that it was like, this is not communicated as being like a good wholesome ending. And there are ways that they could have done it too, you know? Like, to point back to Inception, you know, like the Inception ending being ambiguous, it thematically makes sense, and it's dealt with appropriately too, you know? Like, is this real or is it fake? He clearly doesn't care, but it's not like he walks outside and his children are frozen, seemingly inhuman things, right? It's that the children are, they're his children, right? So he's like happy and enjoying life and everything. So you know, the fact that the top is spinning, does it matter, does it not matter, right? It makes more sense. It's dealt with in a more appropriate manner artistically to actually have a valid consideration. Yeah, so I really don't like, I don't know, I would have to, I need to stop quoting, because I actually, especially given how many of you retards chose Mael, I should just watch the director talk about it instead of going by what other people say the directors say. It's not ambiguous, the top wobble. It's absolutely ambiguous. Please stop.
Oh,
Quick, you got 3 minutes. What's up?
okay. So in the ending to Inception, I think the implication was that he doesn't care about whether or not his children are real or fake, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So doesn't that help my point more? As in, like, what is considered real is really just
No, but
what
the
you
point I'm
think.
making is that in Inception,
Right.
it's accurately communicated in the medium that he doesn't care because everything is like great and awesome and he sees his children. In the ending of Expedition 33, the artwork, direction, and everything else makes it seem like a fucked, fractured reality. It's like the banging the piano and the him sighing and then the cut to her painted face leaking it doesn't seem.
Yeah, sure. However, in Mael's ending, if it didn't show any consequences, it would have been too happy. I think that was the direction they probably have gone with.
But that doesn't make any sense because Verseau's ending seemed very happy and wholesome.
Yeah, because it's actually very sad in material sense, right?
No.
Like yes, they reach acceptance from my perspective, and you'll never agree with me on this. From my perception, like they are all consciousness. Like you spend the entire game building up these bonds, talking with these motherfuckers, learning that they have
Oh
lives,
no, I'm
and
just
how
saying. I'm saying
Neil
that
deals
when
with
they go to the real
trauma
world
and
in Verseau's ending, the family, like everybody they've accepted their grief and they've moved on. Like that's like a happy ending.
that's not really a happy ending. Because think about it. Even though the tone is happy, like Mael probably has a fucked up voice for the rest of her life. She doesn't be epic and cool anymore. She has to paint her own world. Um, she has to deal with the trauma. She like
But it's
I
dealt
think
with.
the
That's
lesson.
that
I
the.
think I think I I have a question for you. What do you think
Wait, no,
about?
stop. Hold on. The dealing with grief is a part of life. Just because you become injured or something
It is,
happens to you
yeah.
doesn't mean the rest of your life is misery or sad. Generally speaking, it's an unspoken rule in the world of art. You're trying to convey positive messages to the audience. It's almost always a universal rule in art. Even if an artist isn't aware of it, you're almost always trying to convey some sort of positivity, right? In the end of a movie where somebody's accepted grief and they've learned to like move on, it's not like, oh my God, it's a sad ending because they're always going to be disabled or dead. It's no, they finally processed this. They don't have to hide in a fantastic delusion anymore. They've accepted Verseau's gone. They moved on. She'll figure out how to live her life. And then that's like the next step. That's the next stage of life. It's not like, oh my God, it's sad. She lives a disbelief forever.
Yeah, sure. I would like generally agree with that, but another part of the game's messaging about guilt is that guilt, like survivor's God, what is it called? Survivor's guilt, I think, right?
Uh-huh.
Is a big part of it because Aline wishes that Mael was dead, right? Instead of Verso, because I think Aline liked Verso more, but it's been a few months, so I probably have forgotten. Um,
Wait, hold on. Remind me of who
I
all these
think
people are again. Wait. Aline
Aline is the
is
mother, the Pinterest.
likes Verseau more than Mael.
Yes, I
When you
think
say
that's the
likes Verseau
implication.
more than Mael, you mean likes Verseau more than Alicia or whatever?
Uh, the painted Alicia, right? Well, yes. Yeah, that too. Yeah, that's why she made Alicia's face, um, like that's why she made her scarred. Even the painted versions get
Yeah,
scarred.
I understand, but like,
Just,
wasn't the
simply
mother? But the
because
mother was also
she
getting lost in
is
that
her.
canvas too. But wasn't the mother finally pulled out as well? Like, I don't think at the end of the Verseau's ending, it's
Yeah.
communicated that the mother hates Mael. I think she's accepted everything that's happened, or that she hates Alicia. She's accepted what's happened, and they've moved on as well, right?
Yeah. She's also moved on. Yeah, sure.
So she shouldn't hate her. So the family is in the real world. They've
Yeah,
processed their grief with Verseau, and they're
no,
moving
no,
on
no,
to the
no.
next stage of life.
But from my perspective, right, one family being able to accept and process their grief is a good thing, but it's not a better thing than preserving the lives
Sure, I
of
understand because you think
everybody
it's all
inside of it,
real and there's
right?
no difference between the
Yes,
two. I
because
got it. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
sure, yeah. Which is the big difference. Because here's the thing: if you are right in the sense that like everybody there is just simply a simulation and they don't really have the same moral consideration as anybody from above, then sure. Um, but I just think it's just extreme that like you go through the entire game. Otherwise, what is the point of Gustav in the first place? Like, what is the point of any of the bonds? Like, a lot of side quests, a lot of stories would then just mean nothing in the end. Like, none of it would mean anything. Like, what is it? Just escapism for escapism's sake?
Well, it
Also,
literally
yes,
is, right? It
fine.
literally all
Well,
is escape. The whole canvas is escapism, right?
yeah, but then a lot of the messages from the game seems to clearly indicate that like these people are exactly like the Descendres. Like exactly, if not more, right? Because part of it is also like because I think it was Lune who said like, bro, you didn't even ask us like what we thought of this. It wasn't like you even considered us to be real people. You betrayed us, right? What that why did the director put that in? Like
Well,
they
because they
wouldn't put
would
that
feel
in
that way,
just so they
sure,
could
but they're
disregard that,
but
right?
they're not real.
But if it wasn't real, then what is the point of that dialogue? That dialogue is meant to evoke some kind of um, thought to the gamer, right? That shows that okay, maybe what Verso did wasn't entirely right. And you have to keep in mind, Alicia. I think Alicia was the painted one, by the way. Was the one that gave Verso the letter, right? The letter that said, "Oh yeah, one paints life, one paints death. Maybe you can find another way." The correct answer is maybe a little bit of escapism is always okay to process grief. It's not entirely wrong for someone to not play video games when a family member dies in order to distract from everything else, right? Because in essence, you're kind of doing the same thing, right? You're playing Expedition 33 as a way to escape from the grief of
Yeah,
the
but
lawsuit,
there's
right?
no okay, hold on. There's no
Yeah.
the no, that's the ending is not her temporarily escaping though. The implication is she will die in the canvas. 100%.
Uh, I'm pretty sure it was she will go insane IRL, right?
Yeah, she'll die in the canvas. Yeah, she'll lose her mind.
Sure.
Like
But
what
it's
the
not
like what
because
Mal was going to do in Inception, like losing
I
herself in the dream world
right.
forever.
So I don't even think that's true.
It
The
has to be
reason
true.
why
Otherwise, your answer is
no.
obviously correct. It's absolutely
Sure,
100% true. It's
sure,
obviously
sure,
true.
sure, sure, sure. No. Hold on. Sure, Aline was shown to be suffering, right? When after Renoir's fight, like she was shown to be like, oh, right? Um, well, the thing is that one key line says, well, they have Clea says, oh, they have spent more time in other paintings. Are you really saying that Mayel isn't going to get any kind of character development once she's trapped in there?
No, the development is leaving the canvas. Staying in there is arrested development. She's never going to grow up. She's literally 16 years old twice. Like, yeah, I don't think she's
Yeah,
ever going to grow up in the canvas. At what point
sure.
do you remember? Have you seen all of House?
Look, that's
Have you seen
no,
all of
I have
House?
not.
You haven't seen? Have
No,
you seen? You haven't seen like
I
House's
haven't seen a
head and
single
Wilson's
episode.
heart where Amber dies?
No, but I play Undertale. Does that count?
Oh my god. There's a part
What?
where
I love
Amber is
Undertale.
on bypass, and at some
Yeah.
point she has to be disconnected to be killed or to die basically. And Amber is
Wait, is my audio fucked?
no, don't worry about it. You're not using the right microphone, but it doesn't matter.
Oh my god.
Amber says something along the lines of like I'm tired, like I think I want you to disconnect me. And then Wilson is like, no, I need like a little bit more time. And then Amber says, we're always going to want a little bit more time. There's no point where Mael, it's the same thing for Mael. There's no point where Mael's going to be like, okay, I'm good now to leave behind Verso and everything. Like it's the implication is that she will die in that campus. That's why her dad is working so hard to free
Sure.
her.
And I think that's okay, right? Because if it's true that I consider everybody else
Yeah, I
to
know, but that's
be
just boring. But I understand,
yeah,
yes.
just
If it's a
worth
whole
it,
other
right?
universe of
You
a
know?
ton of people, then yeah, of course, yeah, you should
No,
preserve
but
the whole
that's not a
universe.
boring. That's not a boring thing
It's
because
boring because the answer is
the thing is,
obviously correct, and it's not
okay,
the
I
subject
don't
matter of the
even
game.
disagree with you all that much. No, if you think about it, I don't even disagree with you all that much. Obviously, excessive escapism is bad, right? Like if you played
No,
Expedition
no,
33
not in
forever,
what you're
and
saying.
you
No,
never
no,
made any
not in what you're saying.
progress.
Because for you're saying it's not excessive escapism. They're just going to another place because all those people have the same conscious experience and moral considerations as every normal human. So the answer is obviously she should stay there forever, and obviously destroying the campus is immoral because you're comparing one person to a universe of people. So the answer is very
Except
obvious. It's no thought. It's not thought provoking at all.
no, but that's where we have a fundamental disagreement because I'm sure you would agree that if everyone in the painted world is worthy of the same moral consideration, then fuck the Desandres, right?
That's what I just said, yeah. But that's not even an interesting or thought-provoking question. You're just saying, like, should you save one world of like 1 billion people or just save
But
one
you
family?
can have both. But the thing is that you can have both, right? Because if there was a reality in which Mael actually manages to get character development or something like that, you can have a
She can't get. This is the story. She's not going to develop. It's whether she's going to remain arrested.
Verso wants to die, right? So if you can kill Verso, have the little painted boy still keep painting, everyone gets to live inside the canvas, and Mael exits to the real world occasionally and comes back for visits. Like,
yeah, but that's not the story. That's not the options presented.
Yeah, because it's Clair Obscur. It's a Clair Obscur, right?
Okay,
It's
in a world where we
black and
can
white.
invent like character
Not
growth
shades
and
of gray.
development after the story ends, then yeah, any ending can be like fine, I guess, because you can just pretend or imagine that they're going to grow up or change after the story is over. But,
Yeah.
okay.
Well. I mean, then I'm sure you can agree that. Okay, I'm not even sure if you'll like agree with this, just mean because you're so psychotic. But do you consider both endings to be bad? Because I actually consider both endings to be bad in a way.
No, I don't.
No? Okay, you're lost to the sauce.
Mael waking
sure.
up and leaving the fantasy world and going back to the real world and processing her grief is better than the arrested development of living in a fake world forever.
Okay, great, but who cares about Mael?
The real
That's a
Mael
boring-
should. What do you mean?
It's a boring conversation, right?
the whole family
entire-
cares about Mael.
No, the entire conversation isn't just no. An important part of the story is the selfishness of the Desandres. That everything
No, that's a
happens
side plot that you've made up because you
because of
think
the
they all get
selfish-
moral
No,
consideration and you think it's
not.
selfish. It created a
It's
whole
not
new
a
universe.
side plot. I promise you're missing the entire thing.
Okay.
You're stupid. Okay.
Okay, I understand
For
your perspective.
example-
I fundamentally disagree with it. So everything that follows from this is going to disagree. I understand what you're saying.
No,
I just
you miss dialogue. Like you are actually missing dialogue.
okay.
Like, for example, when Verso was talking with Mael, what did Verso say in Act 3? Oh, it's because of the Desandres' inability to process grief is why everybody else has to suffer. It's not that Verso is denying the sentience of all the painted beings. It's that he acknowledges the sentience of the painted beings, but he still chooses to kill them all anyways for the selfishness of himself. Therefore, even though the painted Verso is just a painted version, he is still just as much selfish as the real Verso would have been. That is part of the complicated messages and the black and white and shades of gray theming that goes on.
Okay.
But otherwise, there'd be no point to any of the dialogue ever. You just
Well, no,
otherwise
it
you
makes sense that
invalidate
he has his own feelings.
and so much story.
It makes sense that he has his own feelings about things. Like, that makes sense because he's a thing. But at the end, he still wants to die because he recognizes that he's not real. That he wants the real life sister of the person that inspired him to move back to the real world, like the mom has, like the dad is, and to process her grief and to be a part of the real world. He's not like begging her to stay and celebrating her staying there. He thinks it's a catastrophe for her to suicide to live in a fantasy Delulu land.
Fine. I'm okay with assisted suicide. Okay, I'm okay with that. But Verso can just simply choose to die because guess what? Have you fought Alicia? Painted Alicia?
Yeah, I did everything, but I don't think Verso
okay.
can choose to die. She can literally just repaint him.
No, Mael can gamage away Verso.
Yeah, but he can't literally. He literally is immortal in the game.
No, Mael gamaged away Alicia, right?
Okay.
Can she not gamage away Verso?
Yeah, but she's not going to. She wants them around.
Yeah, sure, but like Verso should have considered that, right? Verso should have been like, bro, I really need you to kill me right now. Okay, I really need it really badly right now.
That was the whole ending. What he was begging for.
No, he wanted to take out the entire world with him. He was like the Unabomber or like a suicide bomber.
Because he wanted her to go back to the real world.
Like it wasn't enough for them to give his life to Allah. He had to take out the entire mosque.
Well, because he was the only, I think he was the only like painted creature thing besides like the family members. Well, he kind of sort of was the family members that had the wherewithal to understand the whole context of what was happening. Like the other fictional characters in the canvas don't really, like Lune and CL aren't going to understand that they're not real, but Verso does have that understanding. So of course he's advocating for Mael to leave and go back to the real world.
Sure, but Verso is selfish. He's not considering the lives of everybody around him.
I
Because
understand
from
this
his
boring. I understand. I agree. If you're gonna say they're all conscious beings, then yeah, he's bad. That's not
But
good.
from his perspective, that's his perspective. I'm not saying from your
His perspective is not being selfish. His perspective is being selfless. He's making a decision for
No.
Mael that he thinks that she's not mature enough to make.
That's like the Joker. That's like the Joker wanting to blow up Gotham City and saying, "Oh yeah, it's an act of mercy." I don't care what they think. It's an act of mercy that I'm having everybody die because everyone is deep down inside dark and evil.
Well, yeah, that's what
Like,
I'm saying. If you're
you
saying
know,
they're
like,
all
there's
other
some
conscious
things-
beings that are just the same as human beings, then sure. But I'm saying that like
you're assigning collective punishment. It's like if
yeah, but
Israel
I already
actually
agree.
did
I already agree with you. There's not even an interesting conversation. If you think they're all real, then obviously she should just stay in the campus and die.
How is that not an interesting conversation?
Because the answer is obvious at
Clair
that point. She should stay on the
Obscur-
campus and die. There's no argument you can make for her genociding an entire world if you think all
let
those people
her
are real.
die. The entire Desandre family is allowed to die. Nobody's stopping them from dying. And the thing is that
No,
even in
wait, you're not
Mael's
understanding me.
ending-
What I'm saying is if that's an entire universe of people, then the answer is obvious. She should stay in the campus forever. She can't genocide a whole universe just to go back to one family. She should just stay there. But that's like not even, you don't even have to contemplate that.
Yeah, but like to escape escapism, you don't need to genocide an entire group of people. If you can't escape from that universe, that's a skill issue, right? You can't genocide because you have a skill issue.
We're
insane.
talking, yes, okay.
No, if you have a skill issue to be unable to process your trauma or you process your guilt or grief in a productive way, you shouldn't be compensating for that in order to genocide an entire fucking world.
I understand. I keep telling you that if we're going to say that you're killing real people, then of course your answer is obviously true.
Yeah. But your argument is that you think it is a more interesting conversation if you only look at it from the escapism angle. But I'm telling you, there's way more themes in the story that your bad faith representing, deliberately ignoring, or just straight up lying on.
In Inception, do you think the other people in the fantasy world that Leo and his wife are, do you think the other NPC people walking around, are those like real conscious people?
The NPCs, I'm not entirely sure. They don't explain it in the story. However, the wife specifically, because she's actually just a recreation, right? Like, I'm just double checking the.
Well, I'm saying the backstory is that the wife and him were real, but they were lost in a dream world.
No. The wife died IRL, right?
Yes, because she got lost in a dream world and he wanted to break her out, and she couldn't process her. I don't know, I could say grief or whatever, but
yeah. Okay, if she was fake, if she is a recreation.
She's a what?
Movie. If she was a recreation, right?
No, that's not what. That's not what I'm talking about. No, stop! I'm not talking about when she was a recreation. I'm talking about when Leonardo DiCaprio and when his wife had their own fantasy universe. That was the backstory. Is that they created a dream world for them to live in forever. And I'm saying that was them leaving that dream world, if there were other NPCs in that dream world, is that like unethical to you?
No. Because keep in mind that a scene in Inception is a bunch of elderly people hooked onto Inception machines in order to live out the rest of their years.
What is Mael if not hooked up to the Inception machine to go to the painting?
Yeah, that's not inherently bad.
Why is it inherently bad in Inception, but not inherently bad in Expedition 33?
No, both are not inherently. The only reason, and I'm pretty sure Expedition 33 says this, the only reason why the game considers it to be bad is because it brings grief to Renoir and it brings grief to Elaine. And not to Elaine, sorry. It brings grief to Renoir specifically.
Well, wait. Like in a very like in a very applied sense, yeah. But in like a thematic sense, it's bad because it represents an inability to process grief. It represents an escapism and unwillingness to accept a harsh reality or a harsh truth in reality.
But how you process that grief is part of the conversation, right?
Yeah, and they process it by escaping into a fantasy world.
Sure. I would ask you, like, do you think it's good to process grief by playing a video game to distract you sometimes?
Sure, it can be, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So why am I wrong?
Because Mael is not playing a video game to distract herself sometimes. She's going to sit playing the video game until she dies. And she's going to abandon her whole real-life family. They're going to have to watch her die as well.
She is literally living an entirely different world. Inside, she leads a different life.
It's a fake life, though. It's fake. It's not real.
Yeah, but then that just wraps us back around. We're going in circles.
Yep, I know. That's why I said we already fundamentally disagree on this. But it's fake. It's not like she's gonna. She wouldn't live like in poverty in her canvas, right? She's literally painted her own reality.
Here's the thing. I wish I wish we would move past the conversation of whether or not we could argue that they are sentient real beings of worthy of the same moral consideration. But I feel like if your axioms are not grounded in that, we are unable to have.
I agree with you. That's why I said there's no
'cause-
point, because it's not an interesting conversation.
Yeah.
If I accept that they're all a whole universe full of other
Okay.
people, then it's not that she stepped into a canvas and she's gone to another
No,
planet.
but my new issue now is that you specifically are ignoring the other themes of the game when you say you love the game so much. How could you say to love the game when you ignore or deliberately misrepresent a lot of other parts of the game?
Like
All
what?
the side quests, all the dialogue. Well, I said so before, right? Remember, Verso said, oh yeah, because of the Sandre's selfishness and like guilt and grief, they cause everybody around them to suffer. Everybody around them. That isn't just the Sandres, right? Because keep in mind that there is no other IRL person presented other than the Sandres. So who is everyone? Everyone is
I would have to go
everybody
back
inside
and-
the painted world.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, of course you have to go back, but I memorized everything. I am.
No, I'm saying,
the
first of all, there
lion
are
of
other
Zion
real
when it
people. They're
comes
called
to
the writers,
everything.
number one. Okay.
Yeah.
Number two, the reason I say I have to go back, especially because I'm sure you're
Wait,
reading
you
a manuscript.
consider the
I-
writers? Wait,
what?
I'm sorry, hold on. You say you consider the writers to be a part of everyone? They are suffering because of the Desandre's inability to process grief? Is that
I'm
what you're
saying that those are other real people that are referenced.
Oh, yeah, so? They're not shown for a reason, right? Are they
I don't know. I'm
suffering?
just saying
Because
there are
they're
other real
happy
people that
and
are referenced. You're
celebrating,
saying
right?
no other real people in the whole thing were referenced. I'm saying
There's certainly... No,
You're-
but they're not shown.
I
Because
never
they're
said they
clearly-
were shown.
the
You said
director-
no
the
other real
director
people. You said
clearly-
no other real people are referenced, and I said there's at least one other
Yeah,
family
I
that's
mean-
referenced that's
But
real.
listen, if you were actually right, okay, if you were actually right, my friend, they would have shown like a family friend.
No, I'm not even disagreeing with you. I'm just taking issue with the
say,
one statement.
"Oh my
I'm just
God,
taking issue with the
you're-"
one statement that you said that no other real people are referenced. There is
Yeah,
at
but
least
the
one.
evidence doesn't support your argument. Your argument is flawed if you're even making an argument in the first place. You don't have an argument.
Okay. Anything else?
I love you, okay?
I love you too. Be careful, okay?
Okay.
Okay. What were we doing before this? Yes, they are. Destiny is saying that the people in the canvas are real/real enough is a boring interpretation, and that the ending where you abandon them is the objectively correct ending, and I disagree with that for those reasons. All I'm saying is that there has to be a difference. Like, there has to be a reason. This is just axiomatic. There has to be a reason to prefer reality over fantasy. I really do feel like of all the media I've consumed, which I guess is not much, Inception is the one that maps the most cleanly onto this game. There has to be a reason. Why do we want Leonardo DiCaprio and his wife? I don't remember Leo's name. Why do we want them to wake up? Why can't they just live in the dream world forever? Like, what's wrong with that? Because there has to be a preference for reality. And now, why should we prefer reality to fantasy? I mean, you can go into, like, I would say that fundamentally true things have to be more important than not true things, than fictional things. And I would say that interacting with other authentic human beings, other moral agents that can choose otherwise and make choices is an important part of like our existence. But there has to be a reason to prefer reality over fantasy. There has to be a reason for that. Regardless of fake or not, shouldn't a creator have the final say over their own creation? Almost like in an abortion debate. No, actually. I'm not 100% on this. I've thought a little bit more about the question of like, what is art? In thinking about this game and thinking about the AI stuff, because it's coming up more and more. And one of the things that I think we kind of settled on last time in having this conversation, because, you know, we debate the great philosophies here and everybody in the world follows us and what we take, our takes on everything, is that art requires intention. And that's the difference between like a beautiful scenery in nature and a photograph of the same scenery or a painting of the same scenery, right? It's a human intention to create art. I'm borrowing a little bit from another philosopher I've never read before, the Wittgenstein stuff, in terms of like private language. It doesn't really map the same. I don't know if I believe in the concept of private art. I almost feel like the intentionality to create art, that for it to be art, it almost requires it to be shared with another person, maybe. I'm not 100% sold on that, but I'm like 85% on that. Meaning, necessarily, when you create art and you give it to the world, you lose a say in how people engage with that art. So you can create art with the intention of creating art, and then you can give it to the world with the intention of evoking or provoking certain feelings in people. But once you've done that second step of the art, which is to give it to the world, you lose control of that art, and you no longer have a say with how people choose to engage with it. I thought of this actually in reference to, because what did I say? I went down the rabbit hole on some crazy Twitter thread. Was it about furry porn? I don't even know what the fuck this was about. Or maybe it was Expedition. Somebody posted something where they were like, if I draw a character and I have this character, you guys aren't allowed to make porn of it or something. They were like, I don't appreciate when people draw my characters like that. And it's like, once you've created the art and you've given it to the world, you have no more say over how people engage with it. You can't dictate that. That's up to them. Now, it can be up to you to convey the message as cleanly and as clearly as possible, such that there is very little room for disagreement or interpretation. So, like, for instance, Harry Potter again, right? Voldemort is clearly and obviously a bad guy. Or in Lord of the Rings, Sauron is very clearly and obviously a bad guy, and Aragorn and all them very clearly and obviously represent good guys. It's very hard to escape that interpretation because of how the media is presented. But in other things, it could be maybe more ambiguous, yeah. But anyway, all of that's my interpretation of things, okay? All of that said, that's why I think the third act should have focused more on Maëlle, and the third act should have focused more on her suffering in the real world. Because because I think, I hate reading in between the lines. One of the things you guys do the most that triggers the fuck out of me is you make a bunch of assumptions about the world that might be like reasonable assumptions, but they weren't actually conveyed in the media. I hate it when people interpret art that way, right? But I feel like I am drawing a little bit outside here, but I feel like they wanted to convey it more in the game. I just think they didn't do a great job at it, because there are a few lines of dialogue here about this, but it felt like in the game they wanted to convey the idea that Maëlle's real-world existence entailed a great deal of suffering. I don't believe they did a great job of conveying that. She cried a little bit about it at the end, but I think more attention should have been paid to her real-world existence. Although maybe you could argue you kind of saw it through the painted Alicia or whatever, and her inability to talk and have the scarred face, maybe. But I feel like they could have done a better job of that, because if it truly was a miserable fuck existence in the real world, if she truly was losing access to so many things, then the argument for the painted world. But I think it all centers on Maëlle at the end of the day. Yeah. Sometimes there's legitimate vagueness, though, and everyone brings their own baggage into interpreting things. True, there could be, but other times, like, there can be vagueness that's intentional, but there could also be vagueness that's, like, unintentional. There's, like, bad vagueness. So, like, I would argue that the ending of Inception, there is vagueness around the concept of, is it a real world or is it a dream world? But that vagueness is intentional to provoke the thought of arguing back and forth, does it even matter, right? I think that that's important for the viewer to consider, right? And I think that's intentional on the part of the artist, or on Christopher Nolan, I guess you would say, right? Okay, Camille Lovestrain. If you consider the story from real Renoir's perspective, it's actual nightmare fuel, watching your entire family destroy itself. Yeah, for sure, of course. From the entire family's perspective, right? I'm trying to think, I still feel like it's hard to follow the story. I mixed up the fuck out of a lot of like the painted and real people. So the mother, okay, the very first canvas was painted by, it was Verso and Clair. The real world, those are two real people, right? And then Verso and Clair, were drawing a thing. Eventually, Verso dies in real life because of a fire that, it wasn't caused by the writers, was it? Or was it? I don't remember. I don't think that was important. But a fire happens. I don't know if Verso dies saving Alicia or something happens, but then Alicia is scarred or disfigured. I think it's something like that, right? Alicia is scarred or disfigured in real life. The mother the real life mother, whose name is Aline, is that it? Has a lot of resentment because her wonderful son died, and she already has 2 fucking daughters, okay? And so the real world Alicia. Is it Alicia or Alicia? I think it's Alicia. The real world Alicia is scarred, and when the mother goes into the canvas, she paints. The mother is the one that paints the adult Verso as being a handsome, strapping Chad, Giga Chad, fucking all the women, strapping young lad, and she paints Alicia as being scarred and disfigured still, which is fucked, right? Not cool, not good. Hold on, is that true? Somebody said the fire was caused by the writers, and Mael, and by Mael you mean Alicia, is implied to have had some fault in allowing it to happen. If she had some fault, it was like an innocent young fuck up, or it was just Verso trying to save her. I don't think it's implied that she caused it intentionally or something, right? Maybe she was reckless or something. Fuck, is there somebody vlog me or something? She was duped by the writers. Yeah, okay, yeah. She didn't do it intentionally or something, right? But yeah, sure, that might have been the case. So the father goes into the painting. Oh no. So Aline is in the painting. That's the mom, right? She paints everything. She starts to get kind of lost in the painting. Who's the one who does all the Nevrons? Is that Clea? Does she draw the Nevrons to help Renoir destroy the painting from inside? Is that why she draws the Nevrons? Yes and yes. Okay. So Renoir and Aline, Renoir and Clea want to go into the canvas to break the mother free. They're slowly destroying everything. The mother is using all of her painted power to try to save everybody. So that's the big twist, is that the gommage that's happening, it's not that the mother is writing a lower number to show that oh, she's killing everybody. It's that these are the only people she's still able to protect, right? Eventually, I don't remember when it happens. Is it at the end of the game? Is it when you defeat the paintress? Is the paintress Aline? Or is the paintress, when you defeat the paintress, that's when Aline is ejected from the canvas? Is that how that works? Or was the paintress a painted Aline? Okay, no, it's yes. Okay. The paintress is Aline. So when you defeat the paintress, Aline is ejected from the canvas. So she's essentially saved. And then Renoir is trying to save Mael or Alicia as well. Why does Aline come back in at the end? Why does the paintress come back in at the end to fight against Renoir? Can someone explain that? Is that Aline, or is that a painted paintress? To save the painting? Well, because why doesn't she just come back in? She wanted the canvas to survive. Okay. Another thing that I feel they failed at dealing with in the game that I don't think they give enough attention to this is why didn't they just save the canvas? Could they really just not lock it in another room? I think the implication is supposed to be that if the canvas survives, then that means that Aline and Alicia are going to get lost in it again or something like that. I guess is the implication that they have to destroy it. But I wish they could have... They should have said something more about that. Maybe once you start a canvas, you can never move it. And so it would be impossible for them to lock it up because it was in the main room or something dumb like that or whatever. It's implied that Aline will always try to find a way to go back in. Yeah, okay. I wonder why. So what is the story for why is they do move it before Alicia jumps in? Maybe they do. Clay might have mentioned that. I wonder why Aline comes back in to try to save Alicia. That's a thing I've never really considered. But maybe the mom is still mind fucked and she's just doesn't want it to die, I guess. Yeah. So I think yeah, Renoir is fighting to save his family. Renoir is the hero, truly. Renoir is the hero of the game. And Clea is kind of the hero, although I don't know why she's just a cunt. She just seems mean. I don't know why Clea doesn't have a larger role. Or maybe I just wasn't paying enough attention to this. I feel like if you describe all the characters, I feel like you would imagine Clea would have a larger role in the game, but it seems like she's kind of... But she's also mogging the fuck out of her sister constantly and everything. She's fighting the writers in real life. She's French. Okay, maybe. All of the characters are a stage of grief. Clair is anger. Oh, maybe I haven't looked at it. Maybe that's an analysis or whatever. What is Gustav? Who painted Gustav, or what is Gustav supposed to represent? Did Alicia paint Gustav to be Mael's like Verso fill-in, or what's up with that? Is it Gustav or Gustav? I think it's Gustav, sorry. Gustave? Aline made the Lumiere people. Aline cheated on Renoir with Gustav. Shut the fuck up. Gustav seems like a replacement for IRL Verso, so I don't know. Yeah, but why not just use Verso? Because she painted Verso as well, so why would she paint Verso and Gustav or Gustav? Isn't Gustav just a oh, maybe, yeah. Actually, no. Yeah, because I think when Mael is born, Aline doesn't know Mael is Alicia. So Gustav is just a random person that's just another painted person. So okay, maybe, yeah. He stole Asmongold's take on the ending 25900. Aline is running out of ideas for new people. So just reprints them based. Fuck. What timestamp did he say to go to? 259. Did he actually play through and beat this game?
Is there like a canon option? Because I'll make my decision, but like I don't want to know if it's gonna mess me up. I'm gonna be real. It's obvious. Verso is right.
This is way too pretentious for gamers. They should make this from the perspective of a gooner instead, escaping reality in their cave of depravity, and you have to drag them out of their goon coma.
He's right. It's so obvious. Mael is fucking delusional. She's living in a fantasy land. That's it. And it's fucking up her mom and her dad and everybody else. It's not just fucking her up, it's everybody else. Verso's not even real. He's dead anyway. It's the right decision. It is. He gets it. It is, right. And it would be one thing if it was her just fucking her own life up. That'd be whatever. But it's like everybody else in the family's getting fucked up from this too. And also, it's betraying Verso's sacrifice by sacrificing himself for her if she just stays in the canvas to live with a body pillow of Verso. We're fighting as Verso.
True. E33 was pretty big in the culture wars, if I recall. It was used as an example of what happens when a game isn't woke. Isn't woke. I mean, it feels just like standard JRPG to me, no? I feel like JRPGs are like unintentionally kind of woke. Because like usually the females are strong characters and they all have like good stories and, right, like... But they just kind of like normalize their wokeness and they're not like super... They're generally not super preachy, I think. Destiny, because the women are hot, that's all. It's not even a hot take. You guys are just retarded. I don't actually agree that the women in this game were drawn exceptionally hot. Maybe if you have yellow fever, maybe Lune kind of, but like I feel like CL is a prime example of the type of person that gamers would take a screen cap of and go, oh my god, look at how they're drawing women in games these days. I don't think CL was drawn to be like super fucking... I think they look normal. I would say even Lune looks like normal. Like they look normal, attractive people or whatever.
The problem is that Mael is really overpowered, and
I would say the men look hotter than anything else. Gustav and even fucking Renoir, fucking Verso, Playboys, hell yeah.
Probably shouldn't have picked the character that I didn't give any of my upgrades to.
Yikes! This guy's playing with a fucking keyboard and mouse.
Verso, stop! You can't just decide this for everyone.
We're all hypocrites, doing the same thing to each other.
Oh, thank God. Okay, I get another turn. Okay, good. Thank God. Okay.
Fuck. I'm not gonna do it because I'm just not gonna invest the time in it. But I bet this game has a lot of replay value too. Like if you go back and listen to all the lines, like everything makes a lot more sense. Yeah.
I think I can take it all the way to A rank or S rank in the next level. All I have to do is do one correctly.
I forgot. I don't know if you saw this, but you can see on the beach landing, Verso saves Mael. Oh, I saw this posted on the E33 subreddit yesterday, I think.
Fall back!
I don't think I watched this because it was on my phone or whatever.
Fall back!
When am I supposed to see this? Did it already happen? Oh, is that him? Oh my God, it is! Oh, look at how cute and hot he is. God, Verso is. I would let him. I would paint 20 versions of him to fucking rail me. How cute!
Stop! Come on, we need to go!
From a character design aspect, I will say I don't like that Gustav looked so similar to... Unless it was intentional. I think Gustav looked too similar to Verso, and the fact that they shared weapons and everything, that was... I thought there was going to be some reveal where, like, Verso was, like, the older version of Gustav or something. I was like, I thought that was kind of confusing. It didn't need to be that way. I don't think there was any reason for it to be that way. Oh, people... unless it was, like, maybe it was an intentional misdirect. Yeah. I thought the twist was going to be... I thought the twist was going to be something... Like, it was like going back and forth in time, and Renoir and Verso and Gustav were all the same person or something. That's what I thought it was going to end up being.
He's not following. Lieutenant! What the fuck? Who the fuck was that?
Merde! What do we do now?
Regroup at the rally point. The Indigo Tree.
It's funny you mentioned that you should watch the documentary. Fuck. I don't have time for that right now. Favorite track from the game? It's that one fucking random banger track that pops up that does the electronic shit. I don't know. There's a lot of good music though. This was just such a random track. It just came out of nowhere and it just got super banger. This one just out of nowhere. It's just such a banger. It was just such a banger. The dialogue is written so well. It's insane how every line takes on a new meaning when you replay the game. Yeah, I was looking at a couple of screenshots and stuff from earlier in the game. I'm like, oh yeah, that is true. That's why I'm saying I think this game probably has a lot of replay value.
Well, I mean, like, when I used that ability, I thought it was 3 attacks. Like, because it was 3 attacks. Like, I know what that ability is. It's 3 hits. And now it's 7? What the fuck? That's not even my fault. She's still dead. It doesn't matter. Yeah,
Final Fantasy Tactics, I think, is the only game that doesn't do this. Where he's talking about, like, you ever notice how you have, like, a character in your party and then they defect to the enemy team and all of a sudden they have, like, a whole new fucking skill set and everything else? And it's like, excuse me, fuck you. The fuck? Why didn't I have these abilities when the guy was on my team? But I think in Final Fantasy Tactics, this is kind of cheating. Spoiler alert, Algus? Was that the blonde kid that killed Teta? Delita's sister? Delita? I don't know how you pronounce these names. I've only ever read them. I've never heard them voice acted. But like in Final Fantasy Tactics, before big story battles like that, I think if you unequip everything and like you change their class to some bullshit before the battle, when they turn on you in the battle, I think they're just empty and they have nothing equipped or whatever, and then you can kill them. It's much easier. I think in Tactics you could do that.
I'm still winning. Get out of here.
Same when Verso was a match for Renoir and then he joins your party and is the same level. Feels like shit. I agree with you that absolutely feels like shit. But when you get further on in the story, I think that it makes more sense why I think Renoir wouldn't want to kill Verso. Or I don't think Renoir even could kill Verso. I don't think he could kill him. He might be stronger than him, but the mother's power, I think, is always dedicated to keeping him alive. So I think he literally couldn't, right? He couldn't be killed, I think.
Fuck you. Fuck you. That's right. Yep. Welcome back to the real world.
You can't job change Final Fantasy Tactics in guests? Oh, maybe not, because they all have special job classes. If they're guests and they don't permanently join, oh yeah, because that join screen pops up and then you can change jobs out maybe. But I'm pretty sure you could take off their equipment, right? Or am I thinking of a different game? I know there's some RPG I played where you can remove all of their equipment before the story battle, and when you do that, it makes the story battle, it's cheating, but it makes it much easier.
Yep.
Don't do this. Don't leave me again.
It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay, huh? You've got this incredible power to paint. You'll never have to suffer a life you don't want. You're okay. You're okay. You're okay.
Do you recognize the 2 Xanarkin inspiration? I don't think it actually is, but it just sounds like it because there's a when you start high and then you go low and you go high again. I don't know how to explain it. Would you call it texture? It's that 2 Xanarkin theme. Well, I don't know why it's like this. What is this fucking sound? I don't know how to use it. I need to learn how to use this keyboard for real. Where the fuck is the power button? There it is. Damn.
Had to do it to him.
Is this going? Is it E? I think it says bomb bomb. Bomb. Fuck, I don't know. But it's like it's just that sound of like starting high and then coming low and then going back up the arpeggio. For some reason, it has like a texture, and then there's a part in that song that sounds like that. I don't think it's that. I don't actually think it's an inspiration from the 2 Xanarkin theme. I think it's just that movement. It just sounds similar.
La la la, la la la,
Are you going to cover the New York election tonight? No, I'm not going to watch anything having to do with the election at all. Nothing.
The 2 dogs.
Why not? I'm just kidding. I'll turn it on when it's closer. I'm not just going to live breaking coverage of fucking poll results. Wait, I'm going to rant about something after this. Hold on.
Damn.
Verso ending players think this is a good ending. That's a joke, right? Fuck, that guy's trolling me. You can always tell when people are retarded because I don't know how you describe these, but there are certain emotions. There's like the level 1 emotions, and then there's like the level 2 emotions. And the autistic people are looking at this and like, oh my God, this is such a sad scene. And it's like, no, this isn't sad. This is, the word I would use is like bittersweet, maybe. Maybe there's a better word for it, but it's like, it's kind of sad, but it's sad for like a better purpose. It's bittersweet. Melancholy? I feel like melancholy is sullen, depressive, not forward-looking. A feeling of pensive sadness, typically with no obvious. Yeah, I wouldn't say melancholy. I would. Bittersweet, another term for the woody nightshade. I don't know what that fuck is.
Oh shit. Was she mad?
Fuck, was I fighting with chat on this? What a loser. Not gonna lie, the scene made me laugh when Lune was trying to aura farm through the portal. Like, stop being such a pussy. At least go walk in and out like a gay shit.
It's okay. It's over. Us.
That's what I thought.
Will you do core memes today? Yeah, after this I will. Do you agree with the sentiment that this game is ugly? I joked a lot about the Unreal Engine and saying that it's ugly and all that. There's a super retard take, there's a retard take, and then there's a Giga Chad take. The super retard take is that, oh my god, it's such a good looking game. The retard take is that, like, oh my god, Unreal Engine 5, so horrible. Now, I would have to look actually at the size of the team for this, but given that it was a small project, Double A Studio, my guess is the Giga Chad take is that it's awesome that there are such powerful engines available that a team of indie developers can create like a real, authentic 3D game using the Unreal Engine without having to hire a studio of like 300 fucking people to do so much work. So like, could this look a lot better? For sure. But, you know, absent things like Unreal Engine 5, we'd be playing Undertale 3, you know, or 2, whatever.
Oh shit. Wow. Oh.
I just mean the art direction is bad. I do not like it, Destiny. I think you can argue maybe for that a little. A little bit, maybe. That might have been a budget thing, maybe, yeah. Because, like, the world is, like, fragmented and coming apart always. I feel like that could have been more of a thing in, like, Act 2 or 3 instead of starting off that way. Did it start off that way? Are there fragmented shit and everything fucked him in the beginning? I'm trying to remember. Or maybe, no, maybe it does become that way more in Act 2 and 3, I think. I'm trying to think of what other game or media I've seen that represents that. Where, like, shit is, like, fucked because you can tell you're in a fake world, I guess. Maybe a little bit. Inception? Not really. The Spider-Man movie, maybe?
Is this back in the real world? Let me see. Yeah, it is. Because it's not... It's a wreck now.
There are a lot prettier 3D art styles they could have done that wasn't generic Unreal Engine slop. Yeah, but my guess is that would have been a fuck ton more money to do. And given that, isn't that the studios, this is their first game, right? How much did it cost to make this? What was the total cost for this? Expedition 33, development cost. It hasn't been released, but estimates suggest it was under 30 million, and likely in the range of 5 to 8 million. Why did they say under 30 million? 33 million? Oh, I don't know. It was likely at least 20 million. Actually, that 5.5 million figure might have been the budget per year, so we're looking at around 30 million. I don't know. Lapin de rêve, où le chagrin s'efface. L'autre. I feel like there's one visual effect that they lean into a little bit too much. It looks cool, but they lean into it. I call it like the black hole effect, where there's like it's like a two-dimensional thing where you, no matter what angle you view it from, it's like the black hole with the light that's like coming from the outside or something. I don't know how else to explain it. I just call it the black hole effect. They lean into that like visual too much, I think. I don't know why, but.
Where's his sister? Where's her sister? Oh, there's the plushie.
Kind of, well, it's like I think in a black hole you're seeing fuck me. Like if you look at like the black hole in Interstellar, this light I think here is supposed to be the ring on the other side, but you see it come over the top because of gravitational lensing. So you're seeing that this is the light from behind the black hole. And this style of image where you have this like black hole and this light from around, and then no matter what angle you look at it from, there's like that type of art shows up a lot throughout the game. I think because it feels like it looks cool. And so they use it in a lot of different places. And I don't know if they need to, because it's like a pretty striking piece of artwork. And to see it show up so many different, I don't know, it's kind of weird now. Event horizon. The event horizon is when you are past the point of no return and you're too deep in your mom to get out in time before you've blasted your first jet of baby goo inside of her.
Oh, shoot.
Do we need to see Asma's reaction to anything? Well, I don't know. Why was I link this?
I mean, it's another...
She said, change next year, the year after, and the year after. Now, how do I know this? Well, an oracle told me. She said, change...
What's funny about it is that the truth is that he probably knew about Expedition 33. I mean, it's another European game studio. The probability of him knowing about this game is like 100%, right? He probably even played it.
Wait, who is this guy? Does he know every single European game being made?
It's a modern oracle, so they made me sign an NDA. But I trust all of you. I know you can keep a secret. You will never leak it. The oracle told me that the game of the year 2025 is going to be made by a studio who found the formula to make it up here on stage. It's stupidly simple, but somehow it keeps
He won last game of the year. Oh, this is the Baldur's Gate 3 director. Gotcha.
on getting lost.
Oh, wait, or the CEO of Larian. Was he the director, or was he just the CEO of the studio?
You made their game because they wanted to make a game that they wanted to play themselves. They created it because it hadn't been created before. They didn't make it to increase market share. They didn't make it to service the brand. They didn't have to meet arbitrary sales targets or fear being laid off if they didn't meet those targets. And furthermore, the people in charge forbade them from cramming the game with anything whose only purpose was to increase revenue and didn't serve the game design. They didn't treat their developers like numbers on a spreadsheet. They didn't treat their players as users to exploit. And they didn't make decisions they knew were short-sighted in function of a bonus or politics. They knew that if you put the game and the team first, the revenue will follow. They were driven by idealism and wanted players to have fun. And they realized that if the developers didn't have fun, nobody was going to have any fun. They understood the value of respect, that if they treated their developers and players well, those same developers and
Fuck, you're gonna trigger the fuck out of me. I hate artists. Don't make me defend artists, okay? But somebody linked this and they said, this game was literally made by 2 people. You're telling me it would have been too hard to make the game prettier? Art direction is really important when it comes to like extracting like high fidelity graphics or whatever out of a thing, right? So like, can this look better insofar as it's more realistic? I guess maybe, but this is a totally different style of thing. First of all, everything is washed the fuck out. Now stylistically it makes sense, but there's no colors in this. The backgrounds are all just like cloudy things. This is just like a totally different style of thing that that at least has some color in it. But to compare this and go like, well, look how good this is. Like, why can't Expedition 30 look? What's the difference? It's just a totally different style of thing. If they used like this art direction, the game would have a different artistic character. I guess, I don't know. Atmosphere, somebody said, maybe, I guess.
players would forgive them when things didn't get
At the beginning.
the oracle. Winning game of the year.
The funny thing about this is that whenever he said this, I thought it was kind of awkward. But it was like, it was another Cat Williams, Shannon Sharp interview moment where it's like at the beginning, you're like, wait, what's he talking about? And then every week and every day and every month and every year after that.
It turned out to be a life-changing event for us. It was an amazing thing. To those who will win Game of the Year 2024, you have no idea what's waiting for you. It's an incredible honor, and you're in for a heck of a ride. Now remember, should you be told to wrap it up for tonight?
Fuck. Somebody linked this and said, prettiest game of all time. I hate this style of, I don't know what you call this, but I think this represents the worst of what video games have become. I think it's taking like the Bethesda concept and torturing it to its max of releasing a fucked game that never should have been shipped and then patching it to a more acceptable state that would have actually been impressive on launch. Cyberpunk might look good now, but this is not Cyberpunk 2077. This is like Cyberpunk 2077 version 2.0 or something. It's a different, I really don't like it. Like, if it looks this good now, why couldn't they do this on release? Why did they have to release it early? I think that's ridiculous. I don't like that people celebrate it, that it's, yeah, I think it's crazy to me.
You can always come back next year and chat for 3 minutes, okay? So, now, to pay tribute to the nominees...
Wait, he didn't say for those who come after, did he?
for you. It's an incredible honor, and you're in for us. It was an amazing thing. To those who will win Game of the Year 2024,
No.
you have no idea what's waiting for you. It's an incredible honor, and you're in for a heck of a ride.
If he had said that, it's the other ending. Like, this rivals, if not is better than Final Fantasy 16, right?
What the fuck even was Final Fantasy? Did I play 16?
It's just
I
phenomenal.
played 15 and it sucked. Ugh.
Let's see. So the graphics were just unbelievable. More expressive face I've ever seen. And let's see. So besides that, amazing voice acting. Yeah, the voice acting was phenomenal.
Wait, the expressive faces? Is he talking about Final Fantasy 16? This game didn't have the best in terms of like motion capture or whatever. It wasn't horrible, but it was like serviceable.
The style of the game was pretty much completely unique, right? I mean, like, obviously, you know, you can see where the inspiration comes from, but in a lot of cases, it was pretty much unique. And fucking amazing, right? The level design, I think, also...
No, your Expedition 33 faces were fucked for some reason. His was better? Oh. Do I care about...
Was I swimming the first time we...
...side of it besides the painter... Yeah, he not real. Here, I'll explain. He not real. And so, he's real, yeah, but not really though, right? It's like erasing, like an Animal Crossing fucking save or something like that. I mean, they were never real. It's like they were real people. Like, I don't even know why, it's like... yeah, I mean, that's it. Yeah, it's made up. They're real to her? No, they're not, because she knows that she's delusional. Because she knew, because her mind merged with the fucking thing, right? And with the paintress. So, like, she knew that it wasn't real the whole time. It would only have made sense if she had been able to erase her memories, which she wasn't.
Do you think it's cute how E33 inverted the whole JRPG thing of going from a small story to beating a god? You start wanting to beat the paintress, a god, and it turns into a small personal story. Yeah, I think that's a cute storytelling mechanic. Something that does that really, really well. Something that Mr. Rogers... Wait. Yeah. When he was giving a speech to Congress, he said there's a lot of drama in ordinary life or whatever. There's a lot of things in life that are dramatic. I think it's really cute when things find a way to tell an epic story, but it's really just about, you know, like some ordinary, normal, small piece of human life. The Lego movie does that really well. I cannot believe how much of a fucking sleeper hit. I think I was just chilling with Aaron fucking 10 years ago. We just like randomly turned this movie on. It's such a wholesome, adorable movie. Oh my God, I was not ready for how absolutely adorable that movie was.
But she couldn't have erased the memories, because if she had, then she wouldn't have been able to repaint Gustav. So, yeah, would she keep living as a disabled person? Well, it's not about that. It's that, like, it fucked up her parents too. The thing is,
why aren't links allowed in Kick? I want to link a banger video. Ask Cryptic. Cryptics? I don't know. Why are links banned in Kick chat? Do they need to be?
like, nobody would.
How can you share this while hating everything everywhere all at once? What? That's like one of my favorite movies of all time. What do you mean? How am I hating that?
Nobody would really care if, like, she was doing it herself, right? But it was fucking up her whole family, right? It was selfish, and that's what it was.
What do you think about the Lumina system? I thought it was pretty boring, to be honest. I didn't really want to tweak with it at all, and it just has way too many things. I think it seems boring because the reason why is because the game is probably too easy, but that's just because you guys are too fucking shitty at video games to actually have a challenge. But I think the Lumina system has actually it has a deceptive amount of cool depth to it. If you want to take some time to explore it and put things together that are kind of cute. But it's you just don't need to, because the fighting is pretty easy. Even on expert, like, it's generally easy. Like, even me doing like an all parry thing, it was just not very difficult. Yeah. But once you start to like min-max it, it can get like super broken, super stupid, super fast.
Yeah, no, I think 100%. Like, yeah, she living a life. Yeah, bro, like, there's actually, like, in my opinion, story about grief is all fake. Yeah, I know it's a video game, right? I know it's a video game, but, like, the verse of ending was the only right option. Yeah, it was the obvious right option. Like, it was not even, it's not even a question. Yeah, I mean, and also, like, she's...
You say the game is easy, but did you beat the hardest boss? Yes. It was, playing through the end of the game while your mom was riding me at the same time. And she's so fucking fat, you have to put, like, a mirror at the side of the room to be able to see around.
The whole thing, the entire premise of it is based on a lie, too. Because she never even denied that she was going to come back out of that painting afterwards either, whenever she lied to her dad. Because her dad was like, okay, you know what? Like, you want to go and do this, you're going to go and, you know, like, what about SKA? SKA is a dog. Right? That's it.
Did you beat Simon? Yeah. I do. It does feel weird that Simon is like the huge big bad boss, but there's not really any story at all given to it. Like, who the fuck? Who is Simon? Is that just a person Clair painted to kill? I don't even know what is the whole. I don't understand what the. I don't know. That was weird.
The Mayel ending is fucking selfish. Clea is to blame for everything. She didn't even do anything.
Was painted Clair's boyfriend? Okay. Also, wait, who the fuck was Julie? I feel like I found a journal in like a random part of the map that talks about like Verso's girlfriend wife, Julie. But is that just, I don't know. I feel like that's like a thing for all of like a journal and that's it. I'm like, okay.
Minoko was the dog, SKA was the plushie. Oh, right. I thought they were both dogs for some reason. Yeah, no, never mind. I got confused. I forgot looking at it. Yeah, Claire's, yeah, I mean, she's really hot for sure. But like, that's not really the point. Noko was the other dog. That's right. Noko was the other dog, and SKA was the okay. Now I get it, and that makes sense because whenever Verso was painting it, he was a little kid, and it would make sense that he would make the stuffed animal the main, most powerful character. Yeah, that would make sense. And so, no, I'm thinking about this. Yeah, that gives everybody hugs. Yeah, exactly. Clea created the Nevrons to help Renoir with killing expeditioners. Well, good, because the thing is that Renoir was right about everything. He was right, completely. Yeah, absolutely. Even, and the thing is that if you think about it from the context of, it's like, so if the Verso in the story is supposed to be a facsimile of the memories and soul of the real Verso, and the Verso in the story, in the painting, was like, don't do this, this is bad, this is the bad ending, and then she does it. I mean, this isn't because she loves her brother, this is because she's indulging a fantasy. It's like a deep fake, right? Am I crazy? Yeah, he's even saying, this is, bro, like, chill the fuck out, like, live your life. You're right 100%. No, I know I am. And yeah, how do you deal with grief? Well, I don't know. I mean, like, not creating an AI version of the character that died and then talking to it forever, fucking up my entire family in the process of doing that, and then saying, no, never mind, I'm going to do this forever and fuck up everybody permanently because I never want to move on.
True.
Yeah, and by the way, you know that's like the literal story of that fucking app Replica, right? Like, that's what happened with that Replica fucking app, and everybody agrees that bitch was crazy. She nuts.